action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams. Should be a terrific game here tonight. We're at Talking Stick Resort Arena in downtown Phoenix. Tonight, it's the Phoenix Suns taking on the Boston Celtics. The Celtics control the tap. Jay, for one, Trader Danny was Danny Ainge. Celtics didn't do that much, but Eastern Conference didn't see much change either.
Yeah, they didn't need to do anything if you're the Boston Celtics. You already have all the pieces to the puzzle. There's no doubt about it. The Celtics are now in the driver's seat.
To Schroeder. Here's a chance from long range. Message received. Well defended. Paul against Schroeder. Gets a look. Can't hit.
And so much of the shot is before the shot even occurs. As a defense, make him do things he's uncomfortable with. Stay up on him. Make him catch the ball outside of his comfort zone.
Able to convert inside.
Leadership's greatest values occur in between the lines and not necessarily in the box score. And that's the type of leader that Al Horford is. He's the first all-star free agent to choose Boston in decades. And let me tell you this, the legacy of greatness runs deep in the family. His father, Tito Horford, was the first Dominican basketball player to ever play in the league, which goes to show you why Al has such a great feel for the game.
Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. Leads a bucket. To Horford. There it is, Al Horford. 2 for 2. That's what you want.
Old school equals high percentage.
Suns control the possession. Nothing going here on that drive. DeAndre Ayton to Mikal Bridges. Fires the three. His first effort off the mark. Schroeder with the basketball. They lead it. 4-point game. To Richardson.
Hey, left.
Right time, right player.
Can't teach height.
Into the front court, it's Booker. He'll run the offense. To Paul. And he's going to the line to shoot.
You see this all the time. The defensive players establishing his presence on the court and also checking to see how far the refs are going to let him go.
Devin Booker has got 2 shots coming. A career 84% free throw shooter.
The NBA Season 9 2021 games and highlights will be coming up next on Sports Action Infinity 22.
Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. Boston with the basketball. Schroeder guarded by CP3. Nothing going here on that drive. Schroeder. Now ready for a couple of free throws.
Ed, the reality is that good jump shooters know how to get those calls. Overall, though, there's less flopping in the game, which is great. But there's something uncanny about certain players' abilities to get those calls on a regular basis.
Jason Tatum at the line for 2 shots. For his career, 82%. Knocks down the first. Goes 2 for 2. Paul across the timeline. Down 4. To Booker. JaVale McGee to Paul. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Tough shot. Well defended.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
To Schroeder. Trying to cash in. Deep two there. Won't go.
Your contest was great because of your proximity to the player. You forced his follow-through to be cut short, which made him short-arm the shot.
Booker. Deep left corner.
The NBA Season 9-2021 Game 2-6 matchup will be coming up next. Utah Jazz 177 Philadelphia 76ers 1411.
Here's Schroeder with it. Leads 4. To Richardson. Short jumper off the mark. Now Paul with the basketball. Looking to make something happen. DeAndre Ayton to Booker. Fires the three. Well, their first three, and they're right back in it within a possession in this first quarter.
Well, I don't want to live in the past, but if you got a couple of those to drop earlier, you could have had a nice lead. Now, we got a dogfight.
Shot from in close, no good.
And you have to remember that your hand is part of the ball. There wasn't enough contact on that play for the refs to blow the whistle.
Mikal Bridges to Booker. The screen sets him up for 2.
Bread and butter. And there are few that can do it better off the screen.
The NBA Season 9-2021 Game 2-6 matchup will be coming up next. Los Angeles Lakers 1-3-1-2 Memphis Grizzlies 1-4-1-1.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
To Booker. He was all over him. Missed the shot. No free throws. Al Horford snatching it out of the air.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Whistled for the foul. Chance coming up at the free throw line.
It's still early, so no real impact on that call. But you know that they're going to call this one tight, so you might want to keep your hands out of his pocket.
And he connects on the first free throw. And he makes them both. Booker with it. Down a point. Here comes the screen. Nothing going here on that drive. Booker. Al Horford tips it.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
Celtics have it.
Screen coming.
To Jaylen Brown. Nothing going here on that drive. Boston with 4 to shoot. To Marcus Smart. Lets it fly from long range. Marcus Smart forcing that one. Well defended. Payton with the basketball. They trail by 1. Mikal Bridges to Booker. Al Horford snares the rebound. To Richardson.
The NBA Season 9-2021 Game 2-6 matchup will be coming up next. Denver Nuggets 1-2-1-2 San Antonio Spurs 8-1-5.
To Horford. Shot clock winding down. Offensive board. Al Horford going to the line to shoot 2.
Hey, look, sometimes you need to feel out your opponent. Let him know you're there. I'm okay with that early foul.
First free throw is good. No back-to-back free throws here. He missed the second. It's Suns ball. Jabari Parker sends it away. Has a chance.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Done to Horford. Missed it. How'd that not go down? To Booker. Here comes the screen. Down low, Crowder. Short jumper stays out.
See, the defender did a really good job. He stayed down. He didn't go and bite for all the head fakes. He waited until the last second to
The
contest
NBA
that
Season
shot.
9-2021 Game 2-6 matchup will be coming up next. Brooklyn Nets 178, Atlanta Hawks 1312.
To Marcus Smart. Has a look. Oh, great pass. Setting up the basket.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Suns with the basketball.
I got him.
To Booker. Nothing going here on that drive. Look out, Devin Booker. He's 3 of 5, 60% shooting from the field.
They're going to have to find answers defensively and quickly because he's carving them up in the first quarter.
Done. To Horford. Easy pass to the rim.
Hand down, man down. You got to get up and contest the shot.
Into the front court. It's Booker. Trailing by 4. For 3. He made his first effort, but not that time.
The NBA Season 9-2021 Game 2-6 matchup will be coming up next. New York Knicks 1213, Toronto Raptors 1114.
Short jumper misses. Here comes the screen. No good, and no foul. To Horford. Doesn't have the touch. No good.
And this is where you know you have the offense right where you want them. Every possession, all you see them doing is complaining to the ref, complaining to each other. You're making the game uncomfortable. That's the mark of a good defense.
Count it.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Timeout Boston, as they'll make sure they're aligned here in a 2-point basketball game. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor.
Entering the game for Phoenix.
Shot by Dunn, no good. Booker with it. They trail by 2. To Crawford. Unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
I get tired of hearing guys say, I was there, I contested a shot, I pretty much had a hand in his face. Well, no, you have to change up the game. If a guy is right-handed, he is right eye dominant. Get that hand over his right eye, block his vision. Oh, he sent that one to the 3rd row.
Oh, I thought that was a dunk. Easy.
Not too many times you see a poster for the defender, but that was brilliant.
Trying to cash in. Shot by Parker, no good.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
To Booker. Has a chance. Booker's shot, no good. Gets it in the left corner. Nothing going here on that drive. Screen coming. Baseline drive, the shot won't fall.
And you have to remember that your hand is part of the ball. There wasn't enough contact on that play for the refs to blow the whistle.
Cantor's shot off the mark. 1 quarter down. This game is all tied up. Lucky 13s on both sides. 13 all as we start the second quarter. Paul into the front court. All tied up, 13 apiece. Five on the shot clock for Phoenix. Here's CP3. Schroeder with the board. Goes to the right side. Schroeder to Cantor. Short jumper off the mark. Paul picked up by Schroeder. Drive from the baseline, but it won't go down. Has a look. Cleans it up. Offensive board. Frank Kaminsky with a piece.
Just incredible timing on that swat.
And the Suns right there for the rebound.
Lock up. Here you go.
To Paul. Celtics able to clear the board. Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. He'll run the offense. To Marcus Smart. To Schroeder. Not that time.
I got it. Here we go.
Warren guarded by Schroeder. To Crawford.
Hey, watch this screen left.
The Suns with 4 to shoot.
I got it.
Crawford. That won't go.
Hey, lock up.
Schroeder matched up with Paul. To Cantor. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Phoenix with it. Missed it. Almost a foul. They let it go. To Schroeder. To Marcus Smart. Nothing going here on that drive. To Schroeder. And the rebound taken down by the Suns. DeAndre Ayton. Trying to cash in. Well defended. Shot no good. If it was anyone else, they'd be back on the bench for taking that shot. Richardson picked up by Paul. Screen coming. Richardson to Cantor. The big man, Ayton, with the rebound. Paul.
Ice, you gotta catch. Ice.
A drive, but he can't get it to go. To Cantor. Knocked loose. Cantor. Rebound taken in by Paul. Paul into the front court. Down just a couple. DeAndre Ayton to Paul. From long range. So the first points for him in this first half, and he knocks it down for 3.
Yeah, they really need him to get going. Really surprised that none of his teammates have been talking to him. This is when he needs him the most. They have to uplift him, help him continue to be confident on the court.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor.
Stepping in for the Boston
Schroeder to Jaylen Brown. And he's fouled. He's going to the line for 2.
Aggressive play there, but you can't fault the defender for being up in the shooter. You need to contest shots, each and every one of them.
First one goes down. And gets both to drop at the line. Phoenix has the ball. Here comes the screen. Sizing up the defense. Hayden. Big slam. Oh, he looked like he was on a mission.
It's so difficult to block a guy like that with that kind of athleticism and length. Your timing almost has to be perfect, but pretty much there's no stopping him when he's around the rim.
To Cantor. My goodness, did you see that, Jay?
That's nasty. Just disrespectful.
Brown into the front court. Down a point.
Hey.
Richardson to Jaylen Brown. Works it up top. To Jaylen Brown. Has a chance. Not that time.
Let's be realistic. He's probably not going to miss a lot of shots. But the more effort you can give, you want to try to tire him out. Take his legs away. Make him work to catch the ball. That's how you win a defensive battle.
Brown with it up top. Down 3. To Richardson. Nice pace. Sets it up and slams it down.
And when you get your prescription, you take your medicine and you call it a day.
Get down. Half court. Hands off. D up, baby.
DeAndre Ayton. Give him 2 points. High percentage.
Look, there was barely any contact on that last play. I agree with the ref's no call. Let him play.
Schroeder with the basketball. They're down 3. And Warren there to grab the rebound. DeAndre Ayton. A pass taken away by the Celtics. Richardson matched up with Warren to Jaylen Brown. Oh, Jay, he commands the paint this time down.
You know, Ed, so many times we see people flexing on social media in the offseason, but they rarely put in the work, the substance. Not Jaylen Brown. This dude's been putting in the grind every single day in the gym. He's ready.
Had a good look there, but it's no good. Here's Schroeder with it. Down by one. And scores.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Now the Suns going to signal for a timeout as they'll talk things over in a one-point basketball game. Changes coming from both sides right now. Chance for Chris Paul. Deep two there, won't go.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim. Oh! Out there looking like the Kimbe Mutombo.
Took it right to him, and the defender was ready. Cleans it up. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
Bodies bouncing all around on that layup with the offense winning that battle. But if the defense keeps up that kind of pressure, good things are bound to happen.
Work it down to Brown. No good. Paul with it up top. Leads just a point. Here comes the screen. Paul to Crawford. On the shot clock for Phoenix. Just not going down.
I just love where this takes you into the psychological battle as a player offensively. Was that a great contest, or did you just miss the shot? But now you have me thinking about that the entire next possession.
Has a look. Bane's shot no good. From the outside, no good. Knocked loose. Taken by the Suns.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
Unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
The reality is no one can guard a player at his level one-on-one. The help defense needs to be shown, and he needs to see a series of obstacles instead of just one individual.
To Jaylen Brown. And his canter above the rim.
Oh, man, did you see that swiftness? He dunked that thing like a tennis ball.
It looked like that in his hand. Here's Paul, controlling the offense. The drive, right to the basket, over to the right side. Crawford, you can't leave him that wide open. Takes advantage with the jumper.
Great shot by the offense. But the defense, you can't afford to collapse off that penetration. I'd rather a team take a tough two than a wide open three.
And the rebound belongs to Phoenix. Paul across the timeline. They lead it, 4-point game. Gets a look, can't hit. to Cantor.
1 minute remaining in the second quarter.
Won't go. Nice touch around the basket with the tip.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
Now whistles and a timeout for Phoenix as they'll make sure they're aligned here in a 2-point basketball game. Looks like both teams are making substitutions. Crawford knocked loose. Celtics have it. Count the basket inside.
That transition offense was flawless when guys fan out and actually fill the lanes with a sense of urgency. You heard me correctly, a sense of urgency. You will get a great shot every possession.
Paul to Mikal Bridges. To Paul. In scores on the step back.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
JaVale McGee rejects it. They'll let one fly from half court.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
We've reached halftime in a 2-point game. Let's get you to Orlando, where we say hello to Jalen Rose in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at what went down so far in this one. The Suns will start the second half with a narrow lead, and these guys have every reason to feel good about how they scored effectively in that opening half. Great offensive display. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Phoenix Suns. The Celtics had kept it close after one half. I love the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impressed me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. These are the guys getting buckets for the Boston Celtics.
Game track. Bench points.
What I found interesting about that half of basketball is how the momentum stayed high even when the substitutions started coming into the game. These guys coming off the bench, from both benches actually, are doing a great job of making positive contributions.
Player of the half.
Devin Booker has already put together a pretty nice highlight reel for himself, and that's just after one half of basketball. He did a lot of scoring, and it probably won't stop anytime soon.
Who was cold?
Every player that makes it to the NBA is a great athlete, but even the best players have off nights. Today has just been one of those nights for this guy. Here we go with the top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
Thanks for joining us for the halftime report. The second half is about to get started.
Into the front court, it's Booker. Leads a bucket. A drive down the lane, but the shot stays out.
I give this defense so much credit. Sometimes it pays major dividends to have players that are willing to get their nails dirty. Just dig their hands in the dirt, and that's what kind of stand they're making on the defensive end.
With the rock, it's Chris Paul. Unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
To Jaylen Brown. Booker with it. His guys lead here early stages, third quarter. Richardson to Marcus Smart. Send it away.
Did you see how far he got up? He kept going up and up and up. I think he's still going up.
Get the cameras out. Flash on.
That's going to make a nice poster.
Booker. And a pass stolen by Boston. And finishes strong.
And that is the sign of an unselfish team. When everybody in transition thinks they have a chance to get the ball because you have a willing passer, somebody willing to make other players on his team look great, that's only going to force your players to play that much harder on offense and give you more energy on the defensive end.
DeAndre Ayton. Knocked loose. Picked up by the Suns. It's Paul for two. Knocks it down from mid-range.
Might have had an extra dribble or two there, but he got the shot he wanted.
To Horford. To Jaylen Brown. Beyond the arc for three. Tough shot there for Jaylen Brown. No good. Here's Paul. Brings it up the floor. Going to launch. Beyond the arc. And Chris Paul, veteran move. Well defended. Still buries the three.
Well, that change is inevitable. And one of the things that continues to fascinate me about this game, usually when you see a good three-point shooting team, their shoulders are square to the basket. That's no longer the case in today's game. These guys are off balance. They're moving different ways, yet they still have extreme shot-making ability.
Short jumper won't go down. Into the front court. It's Booker. His team up by 7. Slam dunk, DeAndre Ayton.
It's that easy, Ed. You never want to leave any doubt when attacking the rim.
No good. Oh, it looked like he may have gotten him there. Now Paul with the basketball. Looking to make something happen. All by himself. Creates his own shot there.
And the true test of a team's character is how they respond when they get hit in the mouth. Keep digging.
Play is stopped. Timeout Boston as their coaching staff wants to talk things over here in this third quarter. Shifting gears. Here comes some substitutions. Jumper's good.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
Paul into the front court. The lead stands at 9. Mikal Bridges to Paul. It's Phoenix ball. Ah, the monster stuff. Where did that come from?
It's like he got on an elevator and went to floor 8. And Ed, I have to say something, okay? 6'3", 6 feet, 5'11", those aren't small guys. In the big scheme of things, they're pretty tall compared to the average person in public.
I feel like you're speaking from experience.
Everyday experience, my friend. Every day.
Got a piece of it.
Jumping out the gym right now, Ed.
Great anticipation. Schroeder. And stuffs it down. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Gets it in the left corner. Here's a chance from long range. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
It's all about creating space with the dribble. Once you have that gap, you can beat somebody in a variety of ways. He chose the dagger with the 3.
Oh, he had it. Goes to the left side. Booker to Paul. To Mikal Bridges. Chance for Paul. He shoots. Oh, off the mark. Celtics have it. Trying to cash in. Rebound Bridges. Paul into the front court. Up a dozen.
Pick up. Match up.
Gets it in the right corner. Boston secures the rebound. Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. The deficit now up to a dozen. Richardson to Jaylen Brown. Fires the 3. They need something to go down. It's no good. DeAndre Ayton to Paul. Nothing going here on that drive. Al Horford pins it.
Here's one of the biggest secrets as we move into this new age of basketball, especially in the draft room. You have to draft players with size and length. That's the biggest deterrent for any team offensively.
And look out.
I see the easy dunk, but what I don't see is energy. Scream, do something. Get yourself emotionally involved in the game.
Schroeder with the basketball. 14-point deficit. There it is, Al Horford. 4 out of 7.
The one thing we know for certain in this league, it doesn't matter how big the margin is, you can always put together a run and get back in this one.
Paul guarded by Schroeder. Nothing going here on that drive. Paul unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
Hey, one of the things I hear all the great teams say in the huddle, they say 1, 2, 3, no mercy. Now it's time for you to go even harder on the defensive end.
To Horford. Finish that. Booker with it. His guys leading by 14. Paul to Booker. Scores from the post.
Well, the shooting has been spectacular, but one of the things that I've seen as the difference maker in this ball game is how they are catching the basketball. They're not establishing a pivot foot, which leaves the defense wondering which way you can drive, but when that shot is working like that, you got it any way you want it.
Able to convert inside.
Hand down, man down. You got to get up and contest the shot.
Paul with it up top. They lead it by 14. DeAndre Ayton to Mikal Bridges. Paul to Mikal Bridges. Has a chance. Wide open look. Won't go.
Just seems like there's lead in the feet of the defenders. You have to bounce quicker to the ball to deter that shot.
A pass stolen by Phoenix. Doesn't have the touch. No good. Here's Schroeder with it. Trailing by 14. Rejected.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to where you want to go.
Done. Tatum. No good. That's great defense.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Paul. Brown into the front court. He'll run the offense. To Richardson. Oh, he had him there for a second. Now Horford going to the line to shoot two.
And as a defender, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot foul in the act of upward motion into your shot. Your timing needs to be better.
First one, count it. Two for two on that trip. Crawford to Paul. To Crawford. Down to 5 on the 24. Here's CP3. Rebound hauled in by the Celtics. And they call the foul. Jay, he was there too late.
You got to know your personnel. That's not someone you want to send to the line for a free two.
And hits the first free throw. Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Suns control the possession to Paul. Goes to the right side. Crawford to Paul.
Keep it here.
5 seconds to shoot. Lays it up and in.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Done to Horford. There it is, Al Horford. He's 5 for 10, shooting 50%.
Woo, did you see that? Eyes to the rim, and the rest was all net.
Paul.
Pick it up.
Here comes the screen. Paul. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. That's off the side of the rim, short.
Who gonna do this? My ball. Watch the cutter coming through. Bump.
Nothing going here on that drive. Tatum. Short jumper stays out. Crawford. And that's rebounded by the Suns. Short jumper off the mark. That's the end of the third quarter. The Suns lead it big. It's the Celtics with the ball as we start this fourth and final quarter. And I think the best way to describe where they stand right now is they're down, but they're not out.
It's a game we used to play in the league all the time. It's called a series of stops. That means get 3 stops in a row. Each game is a game within the game. You get 3 stops in a row, and then another 3 stops in a row, you're right back in this ball game.
Chris Dunn, couple of free throws on the way. For his career, 69% at the line. Off the mark on the first free throw. He missed a pair of free throws. Paul across the timeline. Lead stands at 10. DeAndre Ayton to Paul. It's Cantor with the board. Dunn to Horford. Gets it to go. Didn't have many choices there. Lets it fly.
Leadership's greatest values occur in between the lines and not necessarily in the box score. And that's the type of leader that Al Horford is. He's the first all-star free agent to choose Boston in decades. And let me tell you this, the legacy of greatness runs deep in the family. His father, Tito Horford, was the first Dominican basketball player to ever play in the league, which goes to show you why Al has such a great feel for the game.
Here comes the screen. To Chris Dunn. Nothing going here on that drive. And the rebound taken in by the Suns. And he's fouled. A trip to the line coming up.
Great job, Ed, by the shooter to create contact after the jump. That's how you get to the free throw line.
Knocks down the first. No good on the second. It's a 1 of 2 trip. Dunn to Cantor. Jabari Parker not shaken for the early struggles. Maybe this is a sign of things to come.
In the paint, you need to finish just like that.
Paul, he was all over him. And the finish at the rim.
I don't know if the scouting report has made its way out here yet, but if anything, it says you need to not let him get that close to the rim.
Booker to Paul. Ball's controlled by Boston. Parker. Jabari Parker. He struggled just a little bit. 2 for 5.
The defender needs to do a better job of forcing a pickup there.
Into the front court. It's Booker. Up 5. Count the basket. 2 more points in the paint.
Look, there was barely any contact on that last play. I agree with the ref's no call. Let him play.
Cantor to Chris Dunn. Nice pass to set things up.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
Booker with it. Leads 5. Paul to Booker. To Paul. It's Boston with the rebound. Dunn. To Cantor. Almost. Unlucky bounce. Now Paul with the basketball. Looking to make something happen. To Booker. To Paul. Doesn't get the bounce. 24-second violation. New blood coming in for both sides.
Number 7, Jaylen Brown. In the game for Phoenix, number 25.
To Schroeder. Parker. Oh, the Suns come up with the steal.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Throws it down.
Just wait a second, Ed. Wait 1 second. Can we go back to the play before this great play that we just saw? Just because you have a bad offensive possession, you can't allow that to go down and reciprocate itself on the defensive end. One bad play does not make two bad plays. You have to bounce back. That's how you play this game.
Here we go. Here we go.
To Booker. Here comes the screen. Booker to Paul. Fires the three. Yeah, Chris Paul, veteran move. Well defended, still buries the three.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is a brilliant offensive display. You have ball movement, player movement, and great shooting to top it off. You get those three things going, you're going to be a dynamic offensive unit.
To Schroeder. The Celtics down to 4 in the shot clock. Rebound Bridges. To Paul. Now to Booker, down low. Can't connect from inside. Boston with the basketball. Parker to Cantor. Off the mark. He's made those before, but that was well defended. The follow won't go either. To Mikal Bridges. Booker. To Paul. The Suns with 4 to shoot. Chance for Chris Paul. Rebound taken by Baines. Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. His guys trail by 10. Nothing going here on that drive. Count the basket at the rim.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
Paul to Booker. Here comes the screen. Booker picked up by Schroeder. 4-3. Not done yet. Nice touch around the basket with the tip. Now the Celtics going to use a timeout as they'll talk things over here in this fourth quarter.
Well, you need execution in a chess match. And the best execution, I just saw the star player talk to one of the young fellas. You take those young fellas over to the side. You coach them through some of these big-time moments that happen in the fourth quarter. That's how you get your team ready for the playoffs and hopefully a chance to win a championship.
Opposing coach is going to counter, make some changes of his own.
Number 0, Jason Tatum. And number 32, Chris Dunn.
To Parker. Lets it fly from long range. Did enough to bother Jabari Parker. Shot off the mark. Into the front court. It's Booker. His team leads it by 10. They get it down to Paul. Can't connect. Chris Dunn swats it. And he's fouled. Very close. Free throws coming up.
Aggressive play there, but you can't fault the defender for being up in the shooter. You need to contest shots, each and every one of them.
And he connects on the first free throw. Able to convert on both free throws. Brown with it up top. The deficit now up to a dozen. To Horford. And the finish. Slam dunk.
If you didn't dunk that, then we would have to talk about it.
Here's Paul, controlling the offense. Hit. To Booker, down for McGee. Offensive rebound, Jaylen Brown. Huge block. It's theirs now.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
Now preparing to shoot at the line. Jaylen Brown. He's got 2 shots coming. He's perfect from the line so far. Oops, he missed the first one. Second one's good. Splits the pair. Paul into the front court. The lead stands at 9. To Mikal Bridges. For 3, buries it on the catch and shoot.
It's all about creating space with the dribble. Once you have that gap, you can beat somebody in a variety of ways. He chose the dagger with the 3.
To Schroeder. Got it.
You see, here's why versatility is so imperative for your offensive repertoire. If you're a one-trick pony as a defender, I know exactly how to defend you because you only do one thing. But if you have versatility, then the coach can put you in multiple looks within the offense, and then you can get it any way you want it.
To Paul. 5 on the shot clock for Phoenix. It's Paul for 2. It's rebounded by the Celtics. To Schroeder. Richardson. Knocks it down off the step back.
I love when I get a chance to watch guys who can make more out of what they actually have in their arsenal. And that's who Dennis Schroeder is. For a guy who really can't shoot, he sure does put the ball in the bucket.
Horford to Richardson. To Schroeder. From long range. Gets it to go. Coach cannot be happy with that closeout.
Just because someone is listening to you doesn't mean that they actually hear you. At the end of the game, when players get tired, they listen to what the assignment was, but they didn't hear what it was.
To Paul. Off the mark. With defense like that, little margin for error. Has a look. Knocks it down from mid-range.
There's a natural tendency when you guard a right dominant hand player to send him left. But for a guy who's a good mid-range shooter, that's wrong. His pace dribble is his left hand. Force him to go right and know that the chances are higher of him trying to drive and attack the rim. That's knowing the scouting report.
To Paul. Beyond the arc for 3. And Boston has the rebound. To Richardson. Trying to cash in. Add 2 points to the board.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
It's Suns ball. Mikal Bridges. Oh, too much contact. Free throws on the way.
There's a very fine line between maximum effort and carelessness. I'm willing to live with a few mistakes and maximal effort than having to constantly remind my players to close out.
First try at the line, no good. Good recovery. Hits the second free throw. Schroeder with the basketball. His guys find themselves trailing by a bucket. To Jaylen Brown. Schroeder. Tatum. Oh, they could have really used that one, but the shot's no good.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Paul to Booker. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
You've heard it before. Slow and steady wins the race. This approach might be working out after all.
Timeout Boston. Barring a 4-point play, this is a 2-possession game. Let's see how they decide to attack this. To Schroeder. A pass stolen by Phoenix.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade. Is called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you'll be able to stop a great passing team.
Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. Play is stopped. Timeout Boston. It's their second and final one of the last 3 minutes. They cannot stop the clock again.
Today's game, playing your prize at the customer service desk located near section 104.
And he throws it down. Al Horford showing off all the moves. Ruling is there was intent. It's an intentional foul.
Some players are built to handle these moments. On one end, you just sparked your team, and at the same time, you also got under your opponent's skin. Just want to manage through the emotions here and not take it too far.
Goes 2 for 2. It's the Suns with the victory as they take care of business at home. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Here, and I've got your EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Suns emerged victorious after a tight finish.
And whenever the game seemed to start slowing down, they came up with a block that would ignite everyone.
Check out the leading scores for the Phoenix Suns. the Celtics.
Just couldn't close this one out.
The way they shot the ball was outstanding. But even still, it wasn't enough to get the result they wanted. More often than not, you're going to win games when you shoot the ball as well as they did here today. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Boston Celtics.
Game track. 3-point shooting.
Each of these teams were solid with their long-range shooting. So by extension, they were pretty poor with their perimeter defense. Closing out on shooters must always happen, whether you're tired or not.
Player of the game.
Chris Paul gets the award for the most obvious reason, and that's his scoring output. He couldn't be stopped, and it was incredible to watch.
Who was cold?
What can you say about a guy like this, except that he fits the title of this segment? He was definitely cold in this game. Here are the top 3 plays from the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose, and it's been our pleasure to present you with some NBA basketball.